I watch too many people, Matt, do the reactionary business, and it turns into a roller coaster. Everybody's always like, oh, you're always on the up or you're always on the down. We're always trying to figure this thing out. All we want is consistency. And it's easier. It's pretty easy to do. It's easier than we make it out to be. But the problem is we don't have a good plan to go and do it up front. So you guys, hopefully you have a plan right now. And the other thing is that sometimes we think success is the business we've created, and it's not. It's the comfort of understanding how this business works is really what you should put your success points on.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to Life at 10 Tenths, where we inspire you to live at the pinnacle of your ability and purpose. As always, he is Garrett Fry. Good to see you, my friend. And I am Matt Benelli, and we are so excited to kick off 2026 with you guys. This episode's coming out on New Year's Day, so some of you, maybe you have already started to implement your plan and you're like up and ready to go, or maybe you're a little like sluggish and hungover from celebrating. It doesn't matter, because today we want to talk about implementation, something that you're going to be able to put into place right away so that you can hit this year running with your plan. If you're not done with your plan, you can always go and join our GPS workshop, 10tenths.co/GPS, and go through our on-demand workshop to do your plan. But there is a way you can just get going right now. And so we're going to talk about action and implementation today. Just kind of give you guys a nice, swift kick in the behind to kick off this year. Garrett, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, man. Happy New Year to everybody. We gotta get going. It's funny that we watch, sometimes people just kind of like the holidays just kind of lingers on a little bit. Got to kind of get going. All of a sudden we find ourselves in February and we're going like, oh God, I gotta get things going a little bit. Some of you, and I will put this on the table, some of you might have a lot of business actually happening right now.
Yeah. Might be a busy weekend coming up. You might have open houses and showings and all this stuff happening. Just like, let's go.
I watched people have the biggest Novembers they'd ever had. I watched people have the biggest Decembers they've ever had. And I watched people telling me that I've got a book of business lining up right now for January, that this is what happens. We get so into the business that we've created and the people that we're working with and all this thing, and we go, man, my business is cranking right now, but it's not on purpose. It is handling all this business that's going on, and this is your moment to stop and say, if I'm going to take control of 2026, if I'm going to really own what this year is in front of me, I can't just be on demand with the business that's showing up in front of me right now. I have to take ownership of my business plan, of the action items, of the schedule that I've put in place. And this is your time to make this all start to come together. This is your moment right now. But I say that because I watched the end of 2025. I know that you guys have all created a lot of great business out there. And as much as it feels good, it can actually damage the results you're going to have for the whole year if you get lost in just handling the business in front of you right now.
Yeah, if you're still reactional, if you're just like, oh, I just got to handle all this stuff, then I'll get my routine in place. And I'll say, Garrett, this whole thing begins with owning your own personal routine, your personal habits, because that will trickle into your business. And I'll offer everybody an opportunity. We actually have a group of people who are going to be starting 75 hard. If that's something you've thought about doing, if you're like, I was thinking about maybe making that my Misogi for the year. On Monday, we have a group that's going to be starting 75 hard together. You could start whenever you want, by the way. You could start today. You might already be in it, or you could start a little bit later. It doesn't matter, but you can come join us. Just download our app, Life at 10 Tenths, for free, and we'll be commenting in our Health at 10 Tenths section, which is free. But what a great way, Garrett. I've seen people use that program or just their own created program to start to take control of their personal world, their personal routines, because that then helps put the guardrails on so that they can say, oh, I'm going to build this structure now into my business and not just kind of react to everything that's coming in. And that's one of the best ways you can kick off a year, is saying, hey, how do you want to own your personal routine, your personal world, and understand what you're doing on a daily basis so that you can thrive?
Yeah, I think 75 hard is an interesting thing. And I can only talk to this from watching you go through it. I have never said, this is an important thing that I'm on board with. I'm going to go do it myself. But what I think what's interesting with a thing like 75 hard, with other stuff that we might do in our lives, is that it will cause all the excuses to start to come up, to have to have that chatter with your brain that will say, why am I doing this right now? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I should have done this. The weather's not right now. It's like it will help you really analyze that chatter and that voice inside your head that can easily talk you out of doing stuff. It can easily convince you to be like, yeah, it was silly for me to think that I should have done this right now. And when you learn that skill of being able to stop and have that conversation and be like, no, let's go back to the bigger reasons about why we're doing this and what this is about. I think for some people, 75 hard is a health journey. I think there's that piece of it. I think the bigger gift that I've watched people when they go through that, it's actually learning to get control of when those excuses come up. How do I handle them? How do I adjust to them? Do I give in to those? And it's a powerful thing. I would encourage people to go do it. I will say it is not for everybody. So don't be like, oh my gosh, I feel bad because like other people are going to do it. Believe me, I feel fine. I've let lots of people go do the 75 hard. You'll be okay.
Well, you mentioned it helps you understand your excuse, that kind of, well, Andy Frisella calls it the bitch voice in the back of your head. And one of the best ways that you can understand how do you create routines for excellence for yourself is by creating a system that forces you to track what you're doing, right? And that's really what 75 hard does, is it puts these boundaries in place where, oh, well, you can't move to the next day until you complete these things, which puts hyper awareness on the things that you're doing. It puts hyper awareness on how you're spending your time. And you don't need 75 hard to do that. You can create your own construct. You just have to hold yourself accountable to it and say, hey, here's how I'm going to observe my time, observe my choices, so that I can understand why I might be making certain excuses. Because if you look at your observance of having a lot of business as an example, it's like, well, I got open houses to do. I need to return these calls. I need to write these contracts. And if you're aware of the time that you're spending in those things and how it's impeding into, well, I did want to exercise today, or I did want to read a book today, and all of a sudden that took over it, you got to go back and look and say, well, what was really going on? Could I have maybe made an adjustment and still fit those things into the day? Is there a way I could have maybe approached how I handled my schedule? Or were there other things that kind of entered my world? Like I did kind of spend an extra 15 minutes scrolling on Instagram, which I could have read for 15 minutes instead. That's the type of awareness that you want to bring to your actions, particularly for those of you who have completed a business plan. The best way to understand if it's working is have very strong hyper awareness on what you're doing with those things, which is why we create standards on the actions that you set up to say, hey, these are the things that are going to get me to our goal, Garrett.
Well, what we're trying to eliminate is these ups and downs. And a lot of us go through our entire life with ups and downs. We don't really have any standards. We just actually implement things when things are wrong. So, health-wise, we will eat and enjoy everything around us and love all the goodies that life has to offer until all of a sudden we don't feel good, until all of a sudden we don't fit into our pants, until all of a sudden our doctor goes, you're going to die if you don't make some changes here. Like there's times where it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, we've pushed this too far. I got to get serious. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to start exercising. We'll get the gym membership. We'll do all this stuff. And we'll do it a lot of times just until we feel good enough. And then all of a sudden it's like, I haven't had a donut in a while. Like donuts are delicious. Like I'm going to go down that route. And all of a sudden we start bringing other things in. Instead of just having coffee, I always love that little cream, that vanilla cream you put in, that sugar water that you put in with your coffee. That changes the whole thing to something new now. Then you start making these adjustments until all of a sudden we don't feel good again. In our business, we do it a lot, where we will coast. We got a lot of great business in. We got a lot of great people we're working with. And we don't do the things that really grow this business until it gets quiet. And then we go, oh shit, what do we do? Hold on. I know I'm supposed to be calling people. I know that works. I've done that in the past. I haven't written notes in a while. I should probably go do a real estate review or a market impact report. I should probably go do these things. And we start doing them, and then we create business, and we go, feeling pretty good right now. I haven't been this busy in a long time. And we stop doing the phone calls. We stop doing the notes. The action plan that you should be taking right now and moving forward is not just to create a run a business. It is to create a sustainable, comfortable, non-stressful environment that's going to allow you to, at the end of the day, be at these goals that you want to achieve, have this life that you want to have. I watch too many people, Matt, do the reactionary business, and it turns into a roller coaster. Everybody's always like, oh, you're always on the up or you're always on the down. We're always trying to figure this thing out. Just, all we want is consistency.
Yeah.
And it's easier. It's pretty easy to do. It's easier than we make it out to be. But the problem is we don't have a good plan to go and do it up front. So you guys, hopefully you have a plan right now. And the other thing is that sometimes we think success is the business we've created, and it's not. It's the comfort of understanding how this business works is really what you should put your success points on, so that when you can look and say, I created today and I handled. I created and I handled. I created and I handled. That's a successful day. Always just handling, you're going to find yourself in a moment of, oh crap. Always creating and not having the business to handle, that's your moment you get to look over here and go like, are these things that I think are creating business even doing any damn thing at all? Am I just being busy? Like, what am I doing? I feel that way sometimes with YouTube Shorts, by the way, Matt. Yeah. Am I just being busy, or is this actually making an impact in where we're going and what we're doing? These are your things that you need to do consistently to be able to understand it, but you have to take action.
I was going to say that with social media, I see a lot of agents are like, well, I'm just going to build more social media presence. That's what I'm going to do. And which is, if you have some structure around it and you have some goals, great. But they go and they implement, they're like, oh, I'll just do more. I'll just do more. I'll just do more. And nothing's changing because they never take a moment to stop and analyze and just look at, well, what's actually going on? And so what I encourage everybody to do, because everybody will have a different way that you might look at things. I mean, social media and other things, there are core metrics that you can look at. But hey, is my routine working? Well, there's a couple of things you could do. For me, it's my calendar. I go back and look at my calendar and I say, hey, did I have loaded days with the actions that help move me towards my goals? Did I have loaded days with actions and appointments that align with my core values? That's for me one of the things that I look at. And having a successful end of day shutdown process, which doesn't happen every day for me, by the way, because I am like, particularly the time of recording this, like going through mountains of email. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's like blowing my brains out. But if you have some things that you do, for some of you, it might be journaling at the end of the day to just talk about, how do you feel? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel happy? Do you feel overwhelmed? Because you might be like, oh my gosh, I have all this business. This is great. But in your journal, you're writing that you're overwhelmed and you're not taking care of your health, right? And so those are key identifiers for you when you get to analyze how the days are going to help you understand, am I implementing all of this in the right way? Or do I need to make some adjustments? And it's not something you may notice just in one day, because I've seen this too, Garrett, where people will analyze their time for one day. It's like, well, and it'll either be like, well, this was the perfect day, or, well, no day can be perfect because this day had this major interruption that happened. This takes some time. Like we always say, if you're going to do a time audit, you have to put in at least 2 weeks of very detailed time tracking to really understand what's going on, to smooth out any irregularities, seasonalities, kind of routine changes that might happen on a certain day or time.
I'll go farther than that, Matt. Like,
well, I said at least 2 weeks.
At least, like, right? If I'm looking at doing a time audit with something, when we like really go in depth and looking at time, I always tell people I need at least 3 months worth of data before I really even know how you're showing up in your world.
To understand how the business is operating from a production to results, but I would say understanding your routine. Because I even think about it like in a week, like we showed the girls this example routine. Oh, this is going to be our nice evening routine. And they're like, well, are we going to do that tomorrow? I was like, well, tomorrow is gymnastics, which interrupts that routine because that goes into this particular time, which was a nice, like, oh, I also have to, help them understand how things can change day to day, week to week, depending on what's going on. And that's why having at least two, and if you want to analyze where your business is coming from, 3 months, very, very important, because you're going to have a whole lot of, but if at the point of this, Garrett, is if you're not doing any of this at all, if you're not journaling down your thoughts, your feelings, if you're not going back and looking at your calendar or tracking your actions and standards that you've set for this year, you're not going to know, which will by default put you into a reactionary function versus being proactive.
Going back to like the tracking for like 1 day to make an assessment of whether something, I mean, you can track, I mean, it was so funny. We're going through our health journey right now with Own It. And I know for a while there, I had to turn in, I think it was like 5 days. Shauna wanted me to turn in like, what I was eating, just so she can get a sense of what I was eating. By the way, I ate differently for those 5 days because I knew I had to report to somebody. Yep. And then I got done with those 5 days and I was like, oh yeah, my little bowl of cottage cheese in the morning with fresh fruit on it, that hasn't happened since I had to turn in those numbers. Like,
we didn't have to talk about that on the call today. We're gonna have to go back to Garrett tracking his food.
there are some things we're gonna have to go back and take a look at. But I think it's funny that when you're tracking like that, and this is why having a bigger sample size, you need to get out of that I'm trying to prove a point to getting into the, oh yeah, that's right, this is how my actual days work. This is how my actual, okay, now I can really see what I'm working with and how I'm showing up and what I'm doing. And again, I think when going back to the opening line of what we're talking about here with today's episode, which is like, this is your moment to take action. This is your moment to take the reins of what this new year is going to be. Don't wait till February. Don't wait till March. Like right now is your time to look at your calendar, look at your days and say, am I showing up? And the first thing I would say is, am I showing up with the activities that are directly correlated to produce the year that I want to produce? Because the day-to-day business coming in, the new buyer, the new seller, that is stuff that's already been created. It is created out of activities that you're actually doing in 2025. That's why those people showed up in your world. Everything that's going to show up in 2026, the activities started about 45 days ago. It's really when we started doing through the holidays. That's why some people have really powerful first quarters.
Yep.
They usually own the holidays. But then we have this, okay, now 45 days out from now, 60 days out from now, this is what we're now taking the reins on, the control over. And I want to see people have, I think 2026, from everything that I'm seeing, and I don't like making predictions all the time, but everything that I'm seeing is that we potentially could see a lot of volume go through the marketplace. I think it's going to be a different type of business than we've seen in a while, at least in years past. There's different reasons that people are needing to buy or sell, but I think we're going to see a lot of people that are going to choose to or need to sell in this year. And we need to be connected and aware so that when those opportunities come up, we're the answer, we're the solution.
Yeah. Well, that's why a program like 75 Hard can be so powerful, because it also forces the analytics side of it, because you got to check off every day. And one thing I learned from after the first time I did 75 Hard back in 2019 was, let me try just doing a list. And so for those of you who are like, well, I've never really tracked how I'm doing day to day. How do I get started with it? Well, I had bought these like little tear sheets from the same company that produces the 5-minute journal. You don't need to buy anything specific. You can literally just use a piece of paper or Post-it note. But on it had like, what are the 5 things you're going to do today? And it even made me prioritize it. What is the most, important thing you're going to do today? What are the secondary 2 things you're going to do today? And then if those things are done, what are the additional 2 things you're going to do? And so what you can look at is day over day, did I get those 5 things done? Or am I only getting 1 or 2 things done? Because that's going to help you then look back and say, well, why am I not getting those other things done? Am I not choosing the right activities? Am I not being clear enough on those activities? Or am I letting other things creep in? Because in the morning, I said these things were important to get done to move me forward. Why did I not accomplish them? And if that's happening day over day over day, you get to have a meeting with yourself and go, okay, dude, what needs to be adjusted because you're not doing the things that you said are going to move you forward. And if we're not doing that, that means eventually we're going to move backward. And if the excuse is, well, I got all this business right now, that business will eventually get closed. And then what? And those, just a little sheet of paper that says this is what you're supposed to do today, can be the accountability that you need, can bring the awareness that you need to understand how you're operating.
My favorite comment, Matt, is when all of a sudden all the business that you had operating closes out, and all of a sudden I will be on a coaching call, you'll be on a coaching call, and somebody will say, I feel like the market's shifted. Have things changed? Like, I feel like it's gotten quiet out there right now. Like, I don't feel like there's as many people talking about real estate. No, 'cause you disengaged through all the business you just created. You totally disengaged from all these people. And now we're back to going, oh yeah, we're in creation mode again. And you're going to pour yourself into all your activities that you know you should have been doing here for the last, 2 months. We're going to pour ourselves back into that. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I feel like there's a pickup in I got people calling me right now. I got opportunities. It's like, you do realize you have control over this. Like, this isn't just the marketplace happening to you. And I think that's a place, I think, when you go into it with intentions, Matt, when you start writing, like, these are the most important things that I can make sure that can happen today. And then having to answer and analyze why it didn't happen if it didn't take place. Yeah. Because there's a lot of important stuff that will make us all be the best we can possibly be that we forego because something urgent came up in our world. Yeah. And urgency will almost always win out if you don't understand the importance of the non-urgent activities. And most of the stuff that's going to grow your business, grow your health, 75 hard, most of that is not urgent. 75 hard, and this is the unique thing about it when people go through it, and I watch people go through it. Matt, how many workouts, 45-minute workouts, have you done at 11 o'clock at night because you're like, oh my gosh, or reading last minute going like, I have to get this in. Otherwise, I need to flick the switch on 75 hard and I'm starting over from square one.
So what's interesting, that's a great question, actually. What's interesting is it like when I think about it, it's like, oh man, all the time that was happening. But actually, it was pretty rare. Like, it does happen where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to squeeze this in or it's not going to happen. But when you look at it over a course of 75 days, it was not the majority of the days. The majority of days worked well. And that's probably for most people who go through it, which is a great identifier of that. Not every day is chaos. Like, yes, you're going to have some days that happens. And when you are able to overcome that and pull through, and like, I've done work because your day ends when you go to sleep. I've done the workout at 1 o'clock in the morning before I go to bed because I'm like, this has got to get in, right? Outrageously rare, actually, on the grand scheme of things when I look at it. And when you bring up the urgent thing and the importance thing, one of the activities, take a progress picture of yourself. The easiest thing to fail on, because it seems like it is not important. It's not urgent. What is the point? Discipline's the point, right? And this goes for you and your business. It could be like, hey, one thing that's really important for me to do today is I need to like send out 5 text messages. Takes not a lot of time, but you're like, well, I could just double up tomorrow. It's like, no, there's a discipline that you're trying to build with that. If that becomes something that's important to you, in what is important to you, Garrett, I think should be urgent, right? We look at health and it's like, well, what's urgent right now is I need to write this contract. But if you're neglecting your health for that, I would argue that no, that contract is not as urgent as you taking care of yourself, because there will be no more contracts to write if you're not healthy. And I think we need to shift this idea of what we identify as urgent, because I think for most realtors, we misclassify urgent. We think everything's urgent, and it's just not. What's urgent is your important stuff that grows your business, that fulfills your life, that allows you to serve your people in an incredible way.
That's an interesting, because urgency has nothing to do with the level of importance that it has. And you talk about health, Matt, and I think that health doesn't usually become important we don't think of it as important until it becomes urgent. Yeah. Business activities, they don't become important until they become urgent. And it's a good thing to always recognize of how fast we respond to urgency. And this is why, again, we don't take care of our health until there's a problem. It's like we just kind of bump along through it. there's a mastery with your own personal self, with your own personal business, when you learn to handle the non-urgent, high important things first, which is why we make a business plan, which is why we have the activities. Most of the stuff you're going to put in your business plan, they're going to get you to your goals, are non-urgent activities. Most of them, if not all of them. You would never actually go through and put urgent activities of like, I got to get that contract back to this client. That would never hit your business plan. That's a fully urgent activity that would never hit there. But the non-urgent stuff, that's the stuff that creates quality of life, quality of business, gets you to the world and the life that you have. It's what allows you to accomplish your mission and your vision statement that you put forth in front of you. Like, that is the stuff that you really need to be taking action on today. Yeah. January 1st, 2026. You might look at this year as this is the year that I take care of the highly important, non-urgent activities first, because it's going to give me quality of life and quality of business. And if you can go into this year with that and hold on to that as much as you possibly can, you will have an incredible year. I promise you.
Oh, yes. It'll be so good. So I encourage everyone, take action and analyze your action, hold yourself accountable, because that's what's going to help you understand what's truly propelling you to success as you define it, which hopefully is a harmonized lifestyle with your business versus having a business that's on life support only. And you're like, oh, all I do is business. And if you don't have your plan yet.
Why am I constantly doing CPR? I feel like I'm constantly doing CPR in my business.
Why is this? Well, you know what? Next Friday, we have our very first quarterly mastermind for those of you who've submitted a business plan. So if you are close to finishing your business plan, or even if you haven't started, you can still get it done in time. Just go into our business planning workshop if you're already in there. If you're not in there yet, 10tenths.co/GPS is where you'll go to access that and submit your business plan. It doesn't have to be perfect, by the way, for us. Like we're not judgy on it. We actually want to see what you have so we can help you. So if you submit your business plan, you get to join us for our first quarterly mastermind next Friday, the 9th. And if you submit it after that, don't worry. There's still 3 more masterminds that are going to happen over the course of the year that you will have access to. So we are on a mission to make sure as many people have a true completed business plan as possible, which is why we're doing this free quarterly mastermind, because we want to see the business plan submitted. So many business planning workshops, people go through them. They're like, oh, that was cool. I learned a lot, but they never actually finish the plan. And so we have something here for you that is free that is an encouragement to help you finish your plan. The business planning workshop isn't free, but it is outrageously affordable. But the quarterly masterminds are free if you submit the plan. So let's make it happen.
And with that being said, one of our missions with Life at 1010s, is we want to bring together incredible people that are all on this journey of wanting to bring the best out of life, the best out of business. Matt, 2025, we had some amazing people join us on this journey through our 11 Circle community that we're building out. And I want to encourage everybody, if you're looking for a great group of people with like-minded goals, vision of where they want to go, like-minded energy of how they treat people. And that's what I watch of the group that we have. They are so much fun. Well, they like us, Matt. And that's why we attract in those people, is because it works.
Yeah, because we're so cool.
We don't bring jerks in. And so I want to encourage everybody, if you're looking for something like that, to surround yourself with good people going in this new year. The 11 Circles, our group coaching program. And the way that works is we come together every single Wednesday and we share ideas and topics. Matt and I will answer questions in real time. And all of you that are in the 11 Circle right now, you bring the best questions, the best stuff. And I know sometimes you feel like you might have taken over maybe an entire call, but those are also the calls that I find that everybody that was on it go, I needed to hear that right now. I didn't realize I was dealing with that. And it's really fun to see this grow out. I'm excited for 2026 because I know, Matt, we're going to bring in more and more incredible people out there and just continue this journey. So
it is going to be amazing. I just want to add to what I love about the 11 Circle is that group and this vision of creating the most fun group of people who want to grow and thrive together. It's also the place where we get to introduce the things that we're doing. So any new things that we're doing, if it's an event or anything, the 11 Circle folks get access to that first. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that stuff, join us. But don't join it just for that. Join it for the community, for the group coaching, for the training and all the stuff that happens inside there that will help you run your business and life better. Because I will say, even from my own perspective, Garrett, having been able to, this is something we've always wanted to do for years. And we were able to start this last year. And now it's to the point where it's truly helping me grow too, because having that group community, helping people, hearing them help each other is helping me too. So I want to thank everybody who is a part of our world, because it's amazing. It's transformative from top to bottom, from left to right. It's amazing.
It's been awesome. It really has been. So you all have work to do. Yes. That's where we're going to leave this as right now. You all have work to do. It is January 1st if you're listening to this in real time, and I want you guys to go take full action with 2026. It's an incredible year in front of us. I know exactly what this is going to look like as we're starting out this first quarter, because all the clues are around us right now. So just go forth, connect with your people, take action with your business plans. And Matt and I are here to support you, and we'll continue creating content. We'll be back soon. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great New Year's. Hopefully you're feeling okay. Take care of yourself. Drink some extra water.
Take care, everybody.